welcome to Eduscope. I remain your anchor, Dr. Iroro Stephen Izu, and this morning we're going to be continuing with our series of quotable quotes for consciousness and change. And today we're going to take a few quotable quotes, that will enhance the way we see things and the way we live our lives. Now, I just want to remind us to subscribe, to our YouTube channel so that you'll be getting updates as they are uploaded. Now, the first quotable quote we want to take this morning is from Martin Luther King Jr. Martin Luther King Jr. was an enigma. He was a highly pragmatic leader. He was a very courageous leader as well. He was a man who stood on the side of truth, who stood on the side of truth. He didn't stand on the side of caution. He stood on the side of truth. And till this world will pass away, it will remain, a positive reference, for societal change, and progress. He wrote extensively against racism and racialism, this racial injustice. And he did not just write, but he crusaded, against such an ill of society. One of his very, popular quotes is what we're going to start with, today. He said, "If you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving. Whatever you do, you have to keep what? Moving. So if you cannot fly, you should run. If you cannot run, you walk. If you cannot run, if you cannot walk, you crawl. But whatever you do, you must keep moving. You must keep moving. This is a very, very fundamental, a very, very fundamental cancer, for us as human beings. Now, because one cannot continue to bemoan a situation. One cannot continue to lament, or to feel that the world has abandoned you. Now, whatever you do, see, you must keep moving. Moving where? Moving in the right direction. Moving in the right direction. Because in most cases, there is usually a light, at the end of the tunnel. But the tunnel is not a very rosy place. The tunnel, the cave, is not a very rosy place. Because it's dark. It's dark. And there may be scorpions inside. There may be snakes inside. There may be things that may be very, very discomforting to your legs and to your life. But keep moving. Keep moving. One must have this fortitude, this forbearance, this courage, to live life and to succeed, because people die out of frustration, out of depression, out of all manner of circumstances, psychological, traumatic circumstances that should not actually be. Why? Because they allow this thing to fester. They allow this thing to 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 evolve and to grow and to gain energy. And so we must understand the fact that if you cannot fly today, don't bother, run. If you cannot run today, don't bother, walk. If you cannot walk today, don't bother, crawl. But do not stand still. That is Martin Luther King, for you. It's encouraging us, to keep moving, towards our goals, towards our dreams, towards our, objective, in life. And as we do that, we'll see things just falling in place, for us. The second quote I want to take this morning is from Marcus Garvey. Marcus Garvey, was a Pan-African, thinker, who was based in the United States of America. He was actually one of the forebears, of the civil rights movement, that Martin Luther King carried on. He There was a man that started, one of the people that started this quest, for racial justice in the West, and of course, the relocation of blacks, from diaspora back to Africa, because he believed that it is America for the Americans, it is British for the Britons, it is China for the Chinese, it is Germany for the Germans, and it is Africa for the Africans. A very great man, a very dogged, racial, crusader, racial justice crusader. He said, and I quote, he said, the black skin is not a badge of shame, but rather a glorious symbol of national greatness. The black skin is not a badge of shame, but rather a glorious symbol of national greatness. Often, you know, there is this debilitating respect we have for our color, for our pigmentation, as blacks. People get so inferior that they want to even bleach, their skin, want to tone their skin, to make them look a little bit white, a little bit white in complexion, and this is it's not just disfiguring your physiognomy or your pigmentation, but it also showcases, the level of mental retardation that such a person, is suffering. Now it shows, that such a person has been educated, to feel inferior, has been educated to feel subhuman, and the first the first step towards self-development is mental emancipation. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery, according to Bob Marley. Now, when one has been trapped in that mental slavery, in that mind, conundrum, that mind dungeon, that prison conundrum, there is nothing you can do for that person again. So, mm, but Marcus Garvey is reminding us, as Africans, as Nigerians, as blacks all over the world, that this black skin is not a badge of dishonor, but it should be considered to be, a a glorious symbol of national greatness. So we must respect ourselves, we must respect our beings, we must respect, who we are. The Africanity of the African person, must be respected. So in the face, of this kind of debasement or demonization on the basis of pigmentation, we must stand to say we love ourselves. We love who we are. We are not black monkeys, but we are African beauties. And that is what Marcus Garvey is trying to encourage us, to do, and today. And I think it is a very, very timely one. It's something that, we should consider, as very, very plausible and very, very, important. Now, our next quote is from Fidel Castro. Fidel Castro, of Cuba. Fidel Castro was a communist revolutionary thinker and leader, someone who staged a coup in Cuba, and built a modern day, Cuba. Now, he is not a very loved person in the West, he's not a friend, of the West, because of his Marxist, revolutionary, tendencies, and thinking, but it's somebody that has left us with some nuggets, of wisdom. Now, in the face of the contemporary changes in the world today and the quest, to push for some form of new world order, Fidel Castro's quotation becomes very, very germane. He said, and I quote, "We must establish a new world order based on justice, on equity, and on peace. We must establish a new world order based on justice, equity, and peace." Now there is this push for a new world order, especially against America and against the West. Now, this push, of course, man is by nature somebody who likes new things, and who also likes varieties, of things. Man does not want a monopoly or monopolization of things. No, man always like changes. So, now that we like change, that we want changes, that we want some form of a, paradigm shift from this world order to a new world order, you know, does should not make us to be blinded to the fact that what we are looking for is justice. A new world order that will bring about justice, that will bring about, equity and bring about peace. Not grandstanding, not for the satisfaction of the yearning of any individual country, because we should not think that when China becomes the leader of the New World Order, or Russia becomes the leader of the New World Order, or India becomes the leader of the New World Order, that we are going to, you know, be better off. No. What we should be looking at as Africans, as Nigerians, as the blacks, is a new world order that will be championed not to this for the satisfaction of any country's ego or any individual's ego, but will bring about peace, equity, equity, and justice. So we'll wrap it up here today, till our next session. I remain your anchor, Dr. Iroro Stephen Izu. I remind you once more to subscribe to our YouTube channel, to be getting updates as they're uploaded. Thank you for your time and have a great day.